Mr. George Boaty.
Name's Roger Boaty. Mr. George Roger Boaty.
Well, good evening, darlings, and a very warm welcome to Wednesday Night Live with me, coming live into your eyes and ears here from Windy Bottom in the Peak District National Park. Good evening to you all. Good evening, Jimmy Quinn. Good evening, Matt, the lovely underscore. Good evening, Barry, and oh my goodness me, I'm sorry to hear about your tooth problems. Gosh, yes, I'm sure you're not feeling brilliant. Hope you feel better soon. Mustard is here. Good evening. Steve Colg is here. Good evening. Right, yes, jolly good. And, right, oh gosh, there's more. Joe Cox. Joe Cox, good evening to you. General Cheeseburger, evening all. Hope Boaty's better. I'm not, actually. I'm not. But I've had a fantastic day. So tonight, I don't care. Dinosaur Dad, the lovely Ross is here. Mark is here. Yes, Joe. Yes. Except that's not the name, but yeah, totally. We'll get on to that. Good evening, Boaty. Are you well, says Matt? No, I'm not, Matt, but thanks for asking. Neil Gibbons is amongst us. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Boaty. Hope you're well. I've been better, to be honest. I'm still suffering from whatever it is, presumably COVID, that's been kicking my head in of late. But I've had an amazing day, so I don't care. I don't care about being ill. Good evening, Bullbag, says GPS, and good evening to you. And Trisha Alderman, the lovely Trisha. Good evening, my lovely. Thank you so much for joining us. Me. Us. Yeah, all of us. Thank you. Thank you very much. And cheers to you all. Oh, that's very nice. Joe Cox says, another MGF or is it a TF? What, do you want to get straight onto the new car? Don't you want to hear about anything else? Or tell me what you had for dinner? Or just have a bit of general foreplay? Or do you just want me to dive straight into it? Get to the meat of the matter. Have you all, you probably haven't, you might have. Have you seen Mustard's video of today? He did a super quick, you're on the one, can't you? It is up, or at least one of his videos of today is up. So don't go and watch it now. If you have watched it already, we can talk about it. If you haven't, watch it when this is over. I'm going to unwonk you. I'm not having you sitting there just deliberately being on the wonk. How's that? Let's have a look. Oh, that'll do nicely. Am I a bit blurred now? Do you need a wipe? I've unwonked you. Do you want a wipe as well? Hold on. Hold on. Never let it be said I don't look after you. I'll give you a nice wipe. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? You like that, don't you? Yes. Call me daddy. There you go. That can live there for a moment. Oh, dear, dear, dear. COVID, that's so 2020. Yeah, I know. And I thought I got it all out of the way. I don't know what the hell it is. It's no fun. I know that much. Dive straight in, says Joe. Okay. Barry says, is this car's name Willie? No, Melanie Minchbag's name is not Willie. Go balls deep into the tailpipe, says Cheeseburger. Oh, I'm sorry you were bored yesterday, Joe. I was feeling absolutely pants yesterday. And to be honest, I was up super early this morning. I was up by 8 o'clock and I was feeling dreadful this morning. Absolutely dreadful. And I was kind of dreading today. Even though I was looking forward to it, I was kind of dreading it because I thought, oh, I'm going to be feeling poorly. and it won't be any good and I won't enjoy it. I shouldn't have worried. It's been the best day. Honest to God, it's been like it's been like a day of dreams. Me and my best mate, the weather was shit to begin with. But the weather really picked up and we've been out and we've bought a car and we've been for drives and we had a really good lunch and we've taken the piss out of each other and it's just been brilliant. It's been an absolutely fabulous day. Is it my eyesight or are you blurry? Could be my eyesight. I am very old. I watched the video, says Jimmy Quinn. I've seen it, says Mustard. I knew you'd seen it, Jimmy, because you commented on it. Do you, says GPS OMG, remember the programme Love Your Neighbour? I've been watching the past few nights and it's quite funny. Yes, I do remember the programme Love Your Neighbour, just about, from the 1970s. Amazed they can get away with it now. Yes, says Mark, I've watched the Captain's Fanny vid. Melanie Mingebag says, okay, she's not really called Melanie Mingebag. That just popped into my mind when somebody said. General Cheeseburger says, and this is interesting, Jimmy, this is directed at Jimmy Quinn, of course. I saw your very nice comments on the Furious driving video. You didn't call it shit. Well, I see. So, well, I suppose that gives us something to, Love Thy Neighbour. That's right, Cheeseburger. Yeah, Love Thy Neighbour. Trying to remember who was in it now. I can't remember. Thank God, imagine being Matt of Furious Driving. You know, all of that YouTube fame, all of that money coming in from his channel, and Jimmy doesn't call his videos shit. That guy's just living the dream, isn't he? Right, well, shall I just dive in and start telling you all about Melanie Mingebag then? Who isn't called Melanie Mingebag. And stop saying that, it's a ridiculous name. You'll get me demonetized again. So what happened today? Well, Mustard came, Mustard came over today. That was splendid. Call it Daddy. Oh, was it Cheeseburger? Oh, okay. Good evening, all, says Black Lions. How are you feeling, Boaty? Hope you're doing better. No, I'm kind of not, but I've had a great day, so I don't care. But thank you for asking. Simone of Hooked on Classics has come into our midst. Good evening to you, Simone. Right, splendid, jolly good. Yeah, so Mustard came over, and, well, first of all, we had tea, or he had tea. I was very good, and I remember to steal some work last night. Steal some work? Steal some milk from work last night, so that Mustard was well catered for in the tea department. And I even made a cup myself, which I think was a first. I don't think that's something I've ever done before. Pingu Concord is here. Lurpak buttocks to you, Admiral Boaty. Have your Bombay doors sorted themselves out yet? That department is okay. The Bombay department is okay. Touch wood, and this is real wood, so I'm allowed to touch that. So I think we're all good there. I've got. In terms of the lurgy, then I've still got a headache. I've still got a sore throat. I've lost my sense of taste. I've lost my sense of smell. I haven't got much of an appetite, although I wolfed down the momos at lunch today. And I just feel kind of permanently exhausted. So, the lurgy is still going strong, but I've had such a good day today that I just don't care. So yeah, Mustard came round. We had tea, or he had tea, and we had a bit of a quick chat, and then we kind of pretty much got on with things. And we've had a jolly productive day, really. I think short day because he had to go home, I had to go to work. But it has been quite productive. We've had a few little road trips. We went to the UK's premier dogging location, as you will see if you watched his video or when you watch his video. Oh, excuse me, do apologise. And we went over to see the lovely Graham. And we went over in one car and we came back in two. Oh yes, baby. And I finally achieved a dream that I've had for about, 16 months now. I frightened Mustard. It turns out Mustard is not the best passenger. And, you know, when we've been driving around his place, around Rochdale, then, you know, I drive very sensibly and sedately. But we're on my patch now, aren't we? We're on my roads, and we effectively had to drive my drive to work, my commute, which is also my driving home from work challenge racetrack thing. So, you know, I wasn't driving particularly quickly, but then I wasn't hanging around either. And we didn't like it. He didn't like it at all. He made a joke of it, but he was genuinely perturbed and accused me on many separate occasions of driving like an absolute twat, which I find incredibly amusing. And of course, I had to play up to it then, didn't I? Simone fixed her lawnmower again. So, well done, Simone. And GPS lets us know who is in Love Thy Neighbour. Jack Smethurst, Nina Barden-Semper, Kate Williams, Rudolph Walker, Tommy Godfrey, and Keith Marsh. Oh, there we are. Cheeseburger says, I've had a curry tonight. My Bombay doors have been open. What, already? That's a fast-acting curry. If Boaty was a Lancaster, he'd have dropped a bouncing bomb, says Barry. And Matt says, some say Boaty never had any taste in the first place. Oh, that's harsh. And Simone lets us know that she's not keen on Bombay mix and says, yuck. Tricia, the lovely Tricia Alderman, tells General Cheeseburger that she made Thai red vegetable curry tonight. That sounds fabulous. How did you frighten him, asked Cheeseburger. Slip him a lens? No, that wouldn't frighten him. He suggested that. He said, well, after we'd had lunch and had a nice drive and stuff, he said, well, it's been a lovely day. Let's make the most of it and make love. But unfortunately, I had a headache. What can I say? Oh dear. Pingu Concord says, oh, Pingu. Pingu Concord says, when is Wetleg's MOT due? Just wondering when she will be left in the yard of nightmares to go mouldy with a knackered exhaust. Not happening, Pingu. Not happening with Wetleg. God, when is it due? I think autumn, sometime in autumn, I think. I should double check that. Mustard says it was the one-handed malarkey whilst on blind bends. I don't remember doing any one-handed malarkey. Well, I mean, I normally drive one-handed, but I don't remember doing any malarkey on blind bends. Oh, speaking of malarkey on blind bends, right. You've all seen my videos. You've seen me drive to work 1,000,001 times. Right, so, you know the bit quite early on in my work journey where I go down the hill And then there's that really sharp left-hand bend and immediate right-hand bend. The really sharp one where we're always seeing cars being crashed, especially in winter when that bit of road is really icy. You know what I mean, don't you? Well, and I've got this on video somewhere, but I'll tell you about it now. We were driving down there, and as we were heading down into the left and right, and you know exactly where I am, don't you? I know you do. I know you do. As we're heading down towards that, there's an MX-5. I think it was a Mark II MX-5. Could have been a Mark 1. And he got on the power a bit early, or got in a bit quick, whatever. And he came out of the last bend, so it would have been a right-hand bend for him. Coming up, how close did he come to losing that car? We thought we were in a crash situation, because he came out of that bend and the tail, his arse just swung right out. And I mean right out, like about, what was it, mustard? Must have been hanging out at 45 degrees. Now, I always go steady into that bit anyway. So I was only poodling, and I immediately backed off, so I was poodling even more, because I genuinely thought that he was going to lose it, and I didn't know where he was going to go on the road. And he managed to pull it back in, but that must have been a serious brown trouser moment. I can't wait to have a look at it on video, because that wasn't a really good driver deliberately hanging out the tail of a rear-wheel drive car. That was a guy who just lost control, absolutely lost control, and he was a very, very lucky boy to get away with it. But that was fun. But I don't remember misbehaving around any bends. I wasn't even pushing on particularly. I was just driving normally as I do along that route. I think Mustard's just a bit of a not the best passenger, shall we say. What's your favourite comfort food? Asks GPS OMG. Well, if that's aimed at me, oh God, I don't know. It depends how you define comfort food. I mean, I'd be tempted to say that it's curry, that it's staff curry, because that's like my go-to safe, regular thing. But if you're talking about good old-fashioned British comfort food, I think I would probably say sausage and mash. I really love sausage and mash, and every time I have it, I think it's been too long since I had this last. And now I'm thinking I've got a pair of sausages in the fridge, 2 left of the 6 that I bought, and I was planning to have pie and potatoes for lunch tomorrow. And now I'm thinking that I should whiz out and get a potato and have sausage and mash instead, because I really fancy that now. So I'll go with sausage and mash. Pingu says, Boaty, are you responsible for the Ukrainian dam-buster bombing raid with your land? No, I'm not. No, oh, that's a terrible thing. That is a really awful thing. My heart goes out to my previous fellow countrymen. The number of people who are displaced, there are, oh God, there are towns and villages that are completely submerged. There are something like 40,000 people forced out of their homes. They've got no fresh drinking water, they're cold. And while all of this shit is going on, those arsehole Russians are still shelling them through the night when they've got no home, no water, no heat, no electricity, no comfort of any sort. And if that's not all enough, those absolute arseholes are shelling them as well. It's a fucking disgrace. It really is. And quite honestly, I'm getting a bit fed up of us all turning a blind eye because we're all frightened of the consequences. This is a European country that's been illegally invaded, and there's a lot of illegal warfare going on, and there's a humanitarian crisis, and I'm sick of us turning a blind eye to it. I'm not suggesting that we should declare war on Russia, and then probably by extension China as well, and possibly India. I'm not suggesting that for a moment, but you know, I think the time for sitting on the fence and doing half-assed measures is over with, and I think the occupation of the Ukraine has to come to an end. And I think that at an absolute bare minimum, I think that NATO forces or the forces of the West should be going into Ukraine and joining the fight and pushing the Russians out. So not attacking Russia, not attacking Russian sovereign territory, nothing like that. But I think we should be fighting, the West should be fighting in Ukraine and pushing the Russians out. And if that starts World War III, then it starts it, right? It might be the war to end all wars. We might have been through 2 already, but we shouldn't just be standing looking on as this shit goes on. Now, okay, it goes on in various parts of the world, and we can say that we're being NIMBYs now because we're saying, oh, we should do something now because it's in our backyard, because it's in Europe. And yeah, that probably is hypocritical. But other areas of the world, I don't know exactly what's gone on. I'm very familiar with the history of Ukraine and Russia and the former USSR. I've got knowledge on that. I've certainly got enough that I'm comfortable taking on an opinion that Ukraine is a sovereign national territory, that this invasion is just that, it's an illegal invasion, an occupation. I'm fully convinced that Russia are literally carrying out war crimes day in, day out, and I'm sick of it. And I think that we should just bite the bullet, almost literally, and as a collective, the West should send forces into Ukraine and just push the Russians out. And then just leave it at that, not go any further than that. So there's no provocation to start a world war. All we would be doing collectively is pushing the invaders out of the territory that they're trying to invade and just getting them back round their own end. It's like the old days on the council estate when the kids from Matsbury East come round and challenge the kids from Matsbury West. Well, you fight them and you get them back onto their own territory, and then you leave them alone. And that's what we should be doing with Russia. And if they want to then escalate it because they think that there has been an escalation, then we'll just have to deal with that. But, you know, it's the old bully thing, isn't it? You know, you can't just continue to turn a blind eye to a humanitarian disaster for fear of the consequences. Because what does that make the world? What does that make us if that's what we do? It's not okay. Maybe it's because I'm older. Maybe if I was 20 years old again and fearful of the future, maybe I'd think differently. But fear of the consequences is no longer a justification for allowing this to continue, in my book. I think it's time that we stepped up. And to be honest, I don't think that Putin's grasp on his effective dictatorship, I don't think that his grasp is so firm that he would survive that. And I think that if Putin tried to do some silly retaliation or some ridiculous escalation, then I think that he would be taken down by his own people, which is probably what needs to happen. So it might be a blessing in disguise. Anyway, how did we get onto that? Oh yeah, Pingu was asking me if I was responsible for it. No, not guilty. Barry says, what's the news on Stigbürt? Good question, Barry. Well, the news on Stigbürt is that Tom Force of Force Tuning, who took the money and took all of the details, still hasn't managed to get those things that I paid for delivered to the garage. Over 2 weeks now. He is claiming now that he has sent them and that they were due to arrive today. Whether they did or not, I don't know. I certainly went past the garage on my way home tonight and Stigbürt hasn't moved. Whether the parts arrived as promised today, I don't know. Or whether yet again it's a case of, yes, I've sent them, but no, actually I haven't. I honestly don't know. So I'll be down there tomorrow and I will find out if they have arrived. But that's the latest. I rang Tom on Tuesday, so yesterday. Well, no, I didn't. I went down to the garage yesterday to see how they were getting on. And they said, nothing, still no sign. I said, oh, you're joking. So I went and rang Tom and said, look, you know, what's going on? And he said, oh, I sent them yesterday by Parcel Force, so they'll be there today or tomorrow, which is now today. So I'll go down there tomorrow and we will find out if they've actually arrived or not. I'm a little bit, I don't know if I'm entitled to be, but I'm feeling a little bit miffed that, you know, that it's taken 2.5 weeks to send the things, or allegedly to send them. But there we are. There we are. That's where we are. Oh God, I know that feeling. Mustard says you can't keep up with the amount of work versus time. Yes. The bit he goes downhill, says Matt. That describes the last 6 months of content. You cheeky arsehole. Did you name Fanny on purpose, Boaty? Well, yeah, I chose the name. That didn't, you know, I wasn't instructed by God to, and I didn't name her Fanny by accident. I thought, yeah, Fanny. It is entirely possible to get a wet leg after being in a fanny. Right. I like a nice homemade cottage pie, says GPR. God, I haven't had a cottage pie for ages. I've never made one, you see. So I'm reliant on somebody making it for me. And yeah, I really enjoy a really good homemade cottage pie. And I haven't had one for a long time. I'll tell you who made a good cottage pie. Boo. Boo made a fabulous cottage pie. Fair play to her. See, and now I want a cottage pie tomorrow. All this talk of food. Oh, and Matt is baking pies as we speak. Barry says a meat feast pizza is my go-to. Oh, fabulous. Pingu says, P.S. The Honourable HJ Rover is still going well as my wife's Arthur Daly and has had a couple of collection capers and a trip to the seaside. Oh, fabulous. HJ is living his best life. Oh, a hidden message. Can I unhide it? No, another moderator has handled it. Oh, the hidden message is GPS saying, when the war started out, we were considering giving our spare room to refugees, but then realised the dog wouldn't accept them. Right, well, when the war started, the first thing I did was start a Facebook group to facilitate refugees finding places in the UK. And that group is still going strong, and a lot of Ukrainian people have found UK sponsors through it, so I'm quite proud of that. Now, I have offered my own spare room, but I'm a single guy living alone, and I live in the arse end of nowhere. So nobody wants to come and stay here. No Ukrainian refugees. They're looking for cities mainly, and they're looking to stay with families. Obviously, as a single male, I would be considered dodgy, dangerous, a potential risk. And I completely understand that, so I never really pushed myself forward. But I wanted to do everything that I could to help, so I set up the Facebook group, and I've done everything I can to facilitate people finding sponsors and vice versa, and I'm still doing that. That's all still going on. And if any Ukrainian national was absolutely desperate, then there's a room here for them, and that wouldn't be a problem at all. But I completely understand that I would be not up there on anybody's list of desired hosts, and quite rightly too. I'm not reading that one out, Steve. Funny though. I'm not going to read that one out either, Matt. I'm not going to read that one out, Matt, because I think that's a bit disrespectful towards the Ukrainian president, who I think has well and truly stepped up to the mark. I mean, let's not forget that he's not a politician. Neither is he an army general or anything like that. He's a comic actor who played the part of a president and then stood for office partially as a joke. And then all of this has happened, and I can't think of anybody doing much of a better job, to be honest. So I take my hat off to him for his passion, for getting himself out there on the world stage, and for an incredible level of bravery the guy has shown. So I'm not going to read out anything remotely disrespectful about Zelensky. Mustard says, go to Ukraine and defend, not fight Russia. Good tactic. Yeah, I think we should. Is Boaty suggesting we Dad's Army opening credits the Russians? Something like that. Cheeseburger says, we will fight them in the Matchborough Centre car park. God, I was in a few fights in the Matchborough Centre car park. So was my father, actually. Oh God, there was one really, well, it wasn't a really good fight. It was the manager of the Sticky Wicket, who very unwisely, he didn't know who my father was. And we were walking back with the dog from the chip shop. And we walked past the Sticky Wicket. And this new manager guy who fancied himself as a hard case gave my old man a right load of mouth. And you don't give my old man a right load of mouth. And he wouldn't have if he'd known who he was. And Dad just kind of ignored it because, you know, I was there and the dog was there. And then this guy said something else. And Dad just said, hold these, gave me the chips and gave me the dog's lead. And then just waltzed up to this guy who was giving it all mouth and action and all of that. And he the old man just did his normal thing. He slapped him. Dad often used to slap people, but with that part of the hand there, which is harder than your fist and won't break your bone. You hit somebody full power with your knuckles, and you're going to do yourself some damage. As you can see here, I don't have a knuckle there anymore. That knuckle is down there. That knuckle is knackered. My hands are in a right old state. Misspent youth. So yeah, you can't hit somebody full force, bare knuckle, without damaging yourself. But if you slap them with that, then they're going to know all about it if you've got any power. And if you really know what you're doing, if you have a feel on your face here, then go from the top of your ear, go downwards, and you'll feel a bone here. And then, so just there, you'll feel a little indentation, right? Where there are no bones, there's a little indentation there. That is a nerve center, right? And if you clip somebody with an open palm slap, using that part of your hand, and if you clip somebody just in there, it doesn't matter how big they are, how tough they are, they'll be unconscious. Nothing they can do about it whatsoever. So anyway, yeah, Matsborough Centre, the old man just went up, whacked him, and then they had these big industrial dustbins, those really tall ones, and I knew he was going to do something there. So they, having dropped the guy, and the guy just went down like a bloody bag of potatoes. So the old man picked him up, collar and waistband, picked him up, and into the bin. And then we went home with our chips. Oh, God. Good old Matsborough Centre. Oh, and Cheeseburger agrees on Ukraine. GPS says, I think Boaty should go to Ukraine and offer his pottering services. I did that. I've been there, done that, GPS OMG. I went to Ukraine in 2002. Was it? Yeah. I went to Ukraine in 2002. I did indeed offer my pottering services, and I ended up living in Kyiv in a rather nice apartment, actually, with a very, very beautiful Ukrainian girl called Lena. And I had a fabulous time out there, apart from being beaten and robbed a few times by the mafia. But, you know, those things happen when you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. And when I was in Ukraine, it was not a safe place to be if you were Western, because you were a kidnap risk. And if you went on an organised tour or anything, then you're told that, you know, the main street is okay, don't go outside of that. Well, I mean, I'm an idiot, aren't I? And I'm just living the local life. So I've told you before that I went to the Mafia nightclub on my birthday on the river. I've told you that story a million times. I won't tell you it again. But yeah, I've been there. I went to the Ukraine. I lived in Ukraine, and I did offer my pottering services specifically to Lena, who took full advantage of them, to be fair to her. You've got to love a place where a litre of finest Stolichnaya vodka is cheaper than a litre of Coca-Cola. Love that. Cheeseburger says Russia doesn't have the military hardware left for a prolonged conventional war. You're absolutely right, Cheeseburger. Russia doesn't, which is potentially a concern. As in, you know, would that arguably make a nuclear escalation more likely? But no sane person believes in nuclear war, because mutually assured destruction is by definition, insane. And I don't think that Putin has enough of a grasp on his own situation to survive that. If he tried to do something like that, I think he would be taken down. I'm kind of surprised that hasn't happened already, because it just goes to show, I guess, the exclusion of Western press and whatnot, that the Russian populace as a whole are still willing to accept the Kremlin's the Kremlin's dialogue and dynamic and so on. But how much longer is it going to last? I mean, Russia are becoming, or have already become, a pariah state. The world, with a few exceptions, is coming together in condemnation and in action against them. And the Russian people, of course, are blameless in this. And how much longer will Russia stand for it? How much longer will Putin get away with it? I don't know, but what's happening in Ukraine is illegal, immoral, inhuman, and it's unimaginable that we should allow it to continue. In my opinion. Oh, good evening all, says Nigel Fleck. Good evening to you, Nigel. Thanks for joining us. Oh, Matt says, Boaty, did you find out anything about the wine I dropped off? Was it French and bottled in Spain, or was it actually Spanish? Hopefully I didn't buy something you didn't enjoy. Matt, I'm so sorry I didn't do a live stream last night. What I can tell you about that bottle of wine is I drank it last night and it was absolutely lovely. So thank you very much indeed. And you were completely correct, it is Spanish. And it was jolly nice. That's another one going on my list that I will buy when it's on offer. That was a very nice bottle of Splosh. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciated it. And I'm sorry I wasn't live last night to actually thank you while I was drinking it. It really was nice. Ukrainian refugees at your place, says Cheeseburger incredulously. You have a school field next door. We've got Ukrainians in the village, Cheeseburger. There's a Ukrainian family being hosted by a family just down in the village. They walk past the cottage here most days. I'm off, chap. See you soon. Bye, Mustard. I like Zelensky, says Simone. There's a lot to like there. He's I think he's an admirable man. Oh, Cheeseburger says the Sticky Wicket was closed last time I checked. Oh, and the Washford Mill is a Miller and Carter now, is it? Bloody hell. The Washford Mill. God, that brings back memories. That brings back memories. That was the posh place to go and eat, was the Washford Mill. I still like the Washford Mill. Happy days. Do you know, one of these days I should go and have a night back in Redditch. Do some videoing, take you guys all around, show you where I was brought up, show you some of the old sites. I might actually enjoy doing that. God, where did I used to stay when I used to go down and look after Dad? When I was a kid, it was called the Campanile, and my first fiance was a chef at the Campanile. And now, or at least the last time I was there, it's called the Blue. Oh, it's like an American. What do you call it? Motel. It's like an American style motel, and it's called the Blue something or other. And I used to stay there if I was doing an overnight when I was looking after Dad. I wonder if that's still there. Oh, Simon is here, Project MGTF. Oh no! Oh, Simone! Oh dear, my cat just brought me a gift of a dead slow worm, then proceeded to munch it. Oh, I love a slow worm. I genuinely do love slow worms. We had a pet one at the cabbage patch in Matlock Bath. Boo was like Dr. Dolittle. You shouldn't be able to handle a slow worm because they will shed their tail in order to get away. But we had one rock up to the cabbage patch and it just fell in love with Boo, as all animals did. And she could handle it, no problem at all, and it was never scared. All animals were like that with Boo. They were just drawn to her. And I do love a slow worm. It's not a worm, of course, and it's not a snake either. It's technically they're a legless lizard. But I love a slow worm. And I'm so sorry, Simone, that you're rotten cat. How far behind the comments is he, asked Simon. Good question. Oh, apparently I'm miles behind. Okay. As far behind... No, I'm not reading that out, Matt. Putin hoping to keep going until the next USA elections and a change of ruling party. I don't know. Oh, balls. No, I didn't, Matt. But it hasn't gone anywhere, so I'll rescue it. I forgot that we were going to do a thing with saving the bottle, because it's a lovely bottle. So, I see. Schoolfield and kids. Got it. Okay, that did whoosh. That went completely over my head. Matt, remind me, I'll rescue the bottle tomorrow. It's in a bag in the bin. I can get it out, no problem at all. I completely forgot about that. Oh, GPS says, I drove past your house on Monday, Boaty, but I didn't call in because I thought you'd be at Project Nigel. Depends what time you were here, GPS. But yeah, I probably would have been. On Monday, I left at about 11:15, and I was back at about 9 o'clock, something like that. But, what were you doing in this neck of the woods? Oh, pure evil is amongst us. That's Adam, isn't it? Evening, Adam. Thanks for joining us. The Blue Nun. The Blue Nun, the Blue Lagoon. No, it's called, oh God, what is it called? Oh, the Blue Hotel, says Cheeseburger. That's right. Featured on a TV show with Alex What's-her-name on Saving Hotels. Oh, did it? Massive Amazon warehouse opposite now. God, is there? And still open, I think. I tell you what, if I was going to do a night in Redditch, that's where I would try and stay, for old time's sake. The Blue Hotel, that's right. Cheeseburger says, GPS, if it was out, you should have shot through the letterbox. And GPS went to see his parents and also dropped the missus off in Buxton. Oh, jolly good. Right, I seem to have caught up with comments, which means that I can tell you about the new car in the last 10 minutes of this televisual broadcast. Now, I'm really excited by this. I'm really excited about this. Melody Minge bag. The temporary name, which might be the permanent name, is Betty Blue. But, Simon says, if you were stranded on an island and the only thing to eat was Mackie D's, how long before you drown yourself? Well, never. I love McDonald's. I know I'm a food snob, but I love McDonald's, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I love a Big Mac. I love a McDonald's side salad with the balsamic dressing. It's a massive treat for me. And if I was less poor, I would eat it more often. Yeah, I I could live on McDonald's, no problem at all. Well, I mean, I'd probably die because it's not terribly healthy, but I always enjoy a McDonald's. It's my guilty treat. And I fancy that tomorrow now, as well as cottage pie and sausage and mash. Maybe my appetite is coming back. Anyway, new car. I want to tell you about new car. Oh, you might be right. Simon gives me 5 days before you feel so ill you'd gladly die. Well, the thing is, I only eat McDonald's about 4 times a year, so it's always a treat. Okay, new car, which we picked up today, Mustard and I. It's another of our joint things, except I want to keep it. I want to keep it so badly. But Mustard also wants it. We both fell in love with it. But then Mustard drove Fanny, and Mustard fell in love with Fanny even more. Nice key ring. Key. Fob. Right, what is the car? I'll tell you. The car is... It's... Oh, you're going to Colwyn Bay tomorrow? Right. Betty Blue. Yeah, Betty Blue cheeseburger. Right, the car is a 2003 MGTF limited edition Cool Blue SE. That's what the car is. Now, let me give you some genuine information here. I'll just make sure I've got it right. Now, the Cool Blue SE was introduced in March of 2003, and it's based upon the TF 115 and 135 variants. The Cool Blue SE is distinguished by its distinctive blue hood and unique Alcantara blue seats. All models feature a Momo leather alloy gear knob, leather steering wheel, windstop and ash grey fascia. The Cool Blue SE features those staple and very attractive 6-spoke Abingdon 16-inch alloy wheels, along with standard fit chrome grille pack and front fog lamps. This limited edition is available in a choice of 3 exterior colours: Trophy Blue Pearlescent, Starlight Silver Metallic or Anthracite Metallic. Well, guess which colour this one is? That's right, it's Starlight Silver Metallic. Of course it is. Doesn't it fit into the fleet nicely? Right, yeah, so that's what it is. It's a Starlight Silver Cool Blue SE limited edition with the blue hood with a glass heated rear window, beautiful Alcantara blue interior, but my God, has this car had a few quid spent on it. It's been, oh well, let's think of the goodies that it's got on it. All of the speakers have been uprated, and it's got a brand new, I think it's Pioneer All Singing All Dancing head unit. I haven't listened to that yet, but I imagine it'll sound amazing. Oh, excuse me. Got hiccups now. What else has it got? It has got I mean, it's got a really good spec anyway with front fog lights and all of that. It's got every boy racer thing you can imagine, but good boy racer, not naff. So it's got a full sports exhaust. It's got uprated alloys. It's had the big 4-pot brake conversion. The brakes are unbelievable. I mean, you'll have seen me and heard me talk about MGF brakes. Maybe you've experienced them yourself. MGF brakes are shit. And the reason for that is that the MGF sits on 2 Metro subframes and uses effectively Metro brakes. But this has got the big brake conversion, the big 4-pots, and it stops like, oh, it's unbelievable. Stops on a bloody sixpence, so it does. They're absolutely great. It's got a big old K&N induction. It's got carbon fiber pipes everywhere. What else? I can't remember all of the other things that it's been upgraded with. You name it, it's got it. Let me think. So upgraded alloys, induction, sports. Oh, it's had the full K-map reworking. It's been fully remapped, and God almighty, does it sound amazing. You wait until you see the video. It sounds absolutely stunning. It's got, just the best noise between the induction and the sports exhaust and all of that. Trying to remember what else it's got. I can't remember everything. But as a whole package kind of thing, it's also got an immense service history file with it. And you know how much I love that. You know how much I enjoy putting that into chronological order and fully poly-pocketed. It's got the original key, which does everything: ignition, door, boot, petrol cap. It's got a fully working fob. It's got all of the original handbooks and owner's packs and everything. And it's got a spare fob, which might work for all I know. I haven't tried it. If it doesn't, I will be able to program it. It's got a spare key, which is non-original. As you can see, that's been bought from Timpson's, but this key works perfectly well. I've checked it, works on everything. So all I've got to do is program, if it needs it, program the spare fob, and I've got a full set of spare keys. Loads of paperwork, loads of spare parts. It's just awesome. It's absolutely awesome. It's there in the pits at the moment. It's not mentioned in Mustard's video tonight, but you can see it. If you have a look when Fanny is being furdled at one point, then you can see new car, Betty Blue, Melanie Mingebag. You can see her in the pits in the background, but what a car. What a car. Seriously, what a car. Let's just have a look at some comments. Keyring looks like the dealership one. Yeah, I've only had a quick look at all of the paperwork, Joe, but I think it probably is. It looks like she was originally a Manchester car. Very local car to here. The most recent owner was Chesterfield. There's loads of invoices, sales invoices. Somebody spent a lot of money on this car. They really have. Freestyle, Cool Blue, they had some crap names for special editions, says Cheeseburger. Yeah, well, they had about 600 million special editions, so they would have been running out of names. Oh, special supper tonight, Nepali noodles. Oh, let's just try a bit. Oh, that's nice. Oh, man, that is spicy. You're cornering the market in 2003 MGs, says Mark. It would have been, yeah, it would appear to be. Matt says, anything happening a week on Sunday? Or could we possibly plan something? Maybe just a meet up for coffee and car footage. Nothing's happening that I know of, Matt. And yeah, I'm totally up for a meeting, whether it's whether it's just coffee and cars, or meeting up at Ignition, or doing a pub lunch, or doing a cookout. I am up for anything. You organise it, and I will help, and I will be there with knobs on. I agree, Pingu. I do like a blue one, but HJ is still the best handling Ronda in the world. That's the one thing you can't fault HJ on. My God, does that car handle well. Does it come with plenty of synthetic leather? Asked GPS. No, it's got the Alcantara seats. It's got the leather armrest with the deep cup holders. It's got leather handbrake gaiter, leather gear gaiter, leather steering wheel, all your genuine leather stuff. Oh, Mike, thank you, mate. Oh, I didn't even know you were there, Mike. Mike sent a super chat, bless him. Oh, he's so lovely. I'm coming to see you soon, mate. Thank you very much, Mike. Simon says you should keep one of those cars and sell Wetleg. Keep one that you can actually fit in. No, Simon, no. Wetleg is going nowhere. I would like to keep Betty Blue and sell one of the others, but not Wetleg. Could be any of the others, but not Wetleg. I like the idea of having an early F and a late TF. And as much as I don't really fit in Wetleg, I love her to bits. And we're not going to be parted. Wetleg is a forever, ever car. But I like the idea of having a later TF as well to compare and contrast. So we'll see what happens, but I would not be averse to keeping Betty Blue. Now there is an issue with Betty Blue, I should add, and that's why we got her cheap. A local chap in Chesterfield spent a load of money on the car, threw a shed load of money at it, and then at some point the car overheated. Not fully overheated, started to overheat and lost a bit of coolant. And he just thought, right, head gasket failure, that's it. He's going through a divorce as well, and said, I'm not going to throw any more money at this car, I'm just going to get rid. So, but a little research into the car, and a little introductory investigation. So the car didn't fully overheat, didn't get into the danger zone, didn't dump all of its coolant, just got a little bit up there, went from 9 o'clock to sort of 10 o'clock on the temp gauge. The head gasket has been done, as has everything else on that engine, and done by a very, very trusted source. So yeah, I know a head gasket can go again, having gone once, but this one has been done absolutely properly. Now, the car drove home today, no problem at all. And as far as we can see, the issue is an electrical one, in that the fan is not kicking in when it should. So, not a problem with the car overheating per se. As long as the car is moving, no problem at all. But if the car was stuck in stationary traffic, then the fan is not kicking in. And we think that's all the problem is at the moment. So it could be something incredibly simple. If you bridge the fan directly, then the fan works. So not a problem with the fan. Drive the car normally, the temperature gauge is perfectly stable. Not a problem there either. The only problem is that the fan is not kicking in, and that could be anything, a broken cable, a sensor. So that's all that needs sorting. But as a result of that little issue that the chap thought was a much bigger issue, we got the car quite cheaply. And oh, it's just, you'll see it, and you'll see me playing with it. I can't wait to grab all of the paperwork out of there and all the handbooks and it. It's got everything. It's got everything all just shoved in the car. Obviously with Mustard being here, not a chance to play with it today, but I will play with it tomorrow, and I'll take it out for a good drive and I'll video it, and I'll make sure you get to hear the noise that it makes. So yeah, I mean, it's a car that's been bought to sell. So if you want to try and buy it, you can. You can try and buy it now, as it is, or you can try and buy it when we've sorted the fan kicking in problem. Everything else is fine. It's solid underneath. The bodywork is all great. The interior is fabulous. It's an amazing car. It really is an amazing car. And I've not seen the video that Mustard made of collecting it. I don't know when he's going to put that one out. But he said that when he was driving home, when he was driving back to mine in it, he said on the video that I need to keep this. What can I sell so that I can keep this car, because this is amazing. And then when we got back here, I took it out for a spin, and I just said the same thing. Oh God, this is amazing, absolutely amazing. It's all been such a rush today. Tomorrow I'll film it properly. You guys can have a look at it. Let me know what you think. Yeah, it's... I was so excited today. So excited. And of course we went out in Fanny as well, and that was brilliant. Fanny is probably a better car, in all fairness, because, you know, Fanny was taken off the road for 12 months, fully recommissioned, all done. It's solid. She wants for nothing. One of you guys should buy her. She's an amazing car, and God knows we're selling her at a very, very competitive price. So if you're in the market or potentially in the market, do buy her. Or if you know somebody, tell them to buy her. She's a phenomenal car. But I'm just so excited about Betty Blue, especially because she's the right colour, isn't she? You know it's not safe to give me a silver car. But we'll have a proper look tomorrow and see what we all think. And it's about time to go, isn't it? Excellent, you do that, Matt. Let's sort something out. Let's not waste this summer, guys. If there's any Sunday where something's not happening, then let's sort something. Me and Matt and Simon had a fabulous little afternoon the other week, and yeah. Can't wait to see the new car, says Joe. Snake Pass or somewhere a bit more convenient for the northern viewers. Not a bad shout, Matt, although I think Snake Pass is closed at the moment. No, not head gasket cheeseburger. No signs of head gasket failure whatsoever. The head gasket has been done. Boaty, says Simon, I'm skint. Also Boaty, too many cars. Yeah, fair point, but again, not my money. I can't afford to buy these cars. It's not my money that's buying them. And the cars are bought to sell. So if I were to try and keep one, then I would have to find a way to pay for it, which would mean selling one of mine to repay the money and repay a bit of lost profit. But yeah, totally not my money that's doing this, and not Mustard's money either, because he's as skint as I am. You know how we both operate, living day to day. So this is being funded. But no, definitely not head gasket cheeseburger. Could be thermostat cheeseburger, could be. It's not been investigated. The guy just threw a hissy fit, made sure the car was safe, got it. It's not been driven. It hadn't been driven until today. We've checked it through. Coolant is fine. It's not losing any coolant. Or the only problem that we can see is that the fan is not kicking in, and we think that that is the only issue. And that should be relatively easily solved. It drives amazingly. Have you checked the fuse? No. Simon says there are 2 fans on the TF, a radiator one and an engine bay one. And I think they might run on different sensors. There's an easy way to test them. We've tested them. They've been tested in that they work with direct current applied. They're just not kicking in, or it's not kicking in when the engine is hitting temp. So we'll get it sorted. It's not going to be a big thing. Car's fine. Also make sure the thermostat isn't knacked, as that has similar traits. Bedtime for Simone. Simon says, how many of these cars you bought to sell have you advertised? Well, Fanny's advertised now. I've done a for sale video and I'll do another one. Mustard did his for sale video tonight. I will put it on Facebook over the next couple of days, and if it's not sold by the weekend, I will put it on eBay. Betty Blue won't be advertised other than on my videos and on Mustard's videos until she's fixed, obviously. And Derek hasn't been advertised because I'm still needing to use him as a daily until we get Brian Johnston sorted. But, you know, there'll be more to come. How many miles has it done, asked GPS? Oh, God, good question. Good question. I forgot to look. 60 something, I think. Disconnect the ECU water temperature sensor with the engine running. The fan should then come on. If it doesn't, then the usual finger of blame turns to that aforementioned sensor, a common fault. Oh, thank you, GPS. I'll screenshot that. That'll be a job for tomorrow. Right, my darlings, I'm going to love you and leave you at that. Thank you for your company. It's been a fabulous day, and this has been a lovely way to end it. So I hope you're all doing great. Apparently we've got a super hot weekend to come, 30 degrees I've seen. Oh well, let's enjoy it. Let's get the roofs down on our MGFs and TFs. And if you don't have a car that you can put the roof down, buy Fanny. And then you will. Right, let's go. All right, darlings, thank you so much for your company. You take great care of yourselves. Have a safe and peaceful night, and I can't wait to catch you next time. Take care, darlings. Much love to you all. Bye-bye.